Apparently, I did not upload the original video I thought I did, where I was building the whole legs and whatnot. But I'll just upload this video just to show where I'm actually at and whatnot. So as you can tell with Shirley, I got quite a bit done. I got the legs pretty much put together. I got a good chunk of the upper portion of Shirley made. Now I just need to build the neck, arms, hair, neck, head, and hair. Once I get that done, then I'll build the arms, hands, and whatnot. And then after all that's done, then I'll be building all the little trinkets that wrap around here, the little area, the little cape thing that goes down here, all the other little trimmings that make up this outfit for Shirley. But with that said, I want to take about a 4-day or so off break so I can play Cyberdino 2077. Even though the port for that game is fairly atrocious, even though my computer is at the max system specs. But what you're gonna do when the game's port is garbage tier? But that's not here or there, and that's not what this video is about. So as you can tell, like I said, I got the good chunk of the upper portion of Shirley made, and just like all my other builds, she does have the ability to break apart, so I can actually transport her or store her and whatnot. Now, of course, when it came to the initial idea for attaching this to stop the side-to-side motion, I was actually planning on using rare earth magnets in here and down there in the base to actually stop the side-to-side motion. But I have this little tongue right here that slides into this little guy right here that actually basically stops the side-to-side motion. And of course, when it comes to the internal superstructure, it's pretty much on par with the superstructure of all my other builds. Though the only time the superstructure is a lot more intricate or a lot more intense is for the upper portion of the legs right here, where the actual legs physically connect. I have to make sure these legs actually don't bust and whatnot. So that's why I have so much wood and hot glue in here to actually hold everything down. Now I'm thinking of actually closing this area off so it'll look a lot more cleaner. But I'm more aiming towards maybe just adding a little bit of trim so it looks a little bit more cleaner. That way, so if something breaks, I can easily still get into there and fix whatever busts. But again, that hasn't happened yet, luckily, and so far everything seems to be holding out just fine. Though getting the upper portion back on with when I'm trying to record and whatnot is a bit of a pain. There we go. But yeah. The other thing I did is I remade the little foot holders, or whatever these are called, the foot reinforcements. I made them out of foam board, added in extra reinforcements, and a little plate right here. In this little plate, there are some rare earth magnets that combined, that made up with rare earth magnets inside the base for both this side and this side here. So these little guys are just held on by very powerful rare earth magnets. Now, I've yet to actually hot glue these to the feet yet, and that's mostly because I want to actually stress test the frame and make sure the frame I actually made for Shirley doesn't bust. And so far, everything seems to be doing just fine. I've had her like this now for about a week, I believe, at this point. So yeah, I think it took me about 2 weeks to get to this point, I believe. But yeah, so far everything seems to be going on just fine. And when I actually go to more or less finish Shirley off, I will be actually hot gluing these directly to the feet, but again, I'm not going to be doing that towards the very end of building Shirley. So right now, everything's just kind of free flowing and whatnot. So yeah, when it comes to the 4-day break, after I'm done with it, I'm going to start the whole process of building basically your head, hair, and hair and whatnot. I might actually build just the next section in a little while, just to at least have something here. But for right now, I just want to play Cyberdino 2077. With that said, though, there is one more thing I actually want to bring up before I end this video. And that is my next supposed build I'm going to be doing. Now, Konami, unfortunately, removed the offline capabilities of Love Plus Every when they shut down the servers. But they did at least allow us to have offline play, as you can see right here. And they also did us a favor and allowed it to where it can actually run on emulators now. And that's how you're seeing this right now. So when it comes to Rinko here from Love Plus Every, Well, actually, we actually have all three girls, I believe, ripped from the game. Or just the people that do that are currently in the process of basically parsing everything out for each individual girl, and then they'll eventually upload everything. But right now, I have everything that makes up Shirley and not Shirley. Basically, I have all the parts that make up Rinko, because there are a lot of outfits and there's a lot of crap that actually goes to make this simple model here. So with that said, when it comes to Rinko, I have to figure out what actual outfit I want to use. Now, I could use the schoolgirl outfit, but there's a problem with that. Currently, right now, she is full commando. Now, of course, obviously, I can't pan the camera down and up to actually show it, but there's actually nothing down there. There is shadowing and whatnot, but the bits aren't actually rendered in or textured in. But considering you can actually manipulate the textures, I'm fairly certain if someone really wanted to, they could add the bits down there. Now, of course, obviously, I'm not going to do that. I want to upload this, I want to build this character and actually upload to YouTube, and the last thing I want to do is be Yondev. We all know how garbage tier Yondev is, and you already know I don't do that kind of stuff with these models I build. I mean, the last thing I want to do is do something like that and just destroy all my hard work. But again, it's not here or there. So let me actually bring up this model in Papakura. So it's right here. Here is the actual physical model, fully complete with everything in here. And as you can tell, if I can do this, I don't know how well the camera's going to pick it up, but I did modify her hair slightly to give the more proper blue that Rinko's hair is supposed to be in the DS games, as you can see right here. I don't know why Konami offed that in the Love Plus Every release, but at least you can modify the textures easily enough to at least get the proper hair color to an extent. Now, of course, obviously, again, I'm not going to show the full commando for obvious reasons, but this is one of the outfits I have in mind. And also, while I'm at it, I'll actually show you that these models are individual pieces. As you can see, I have 6 pieces here. All 6 of these are what's needed to combine to make this model right here, excluding the glasses. But yeah, all these 6 little guys here is what makes up the schoolgirl outfit. So I have this option to work with. I have a few other outfits I could choose, but there is one outfit I'm actually really looking at. So let's go back into Love Plus Every. Come on, Rinko, let me change. There we go. And that's her wedding dress. Give me a second. So yeah, as I say, this is one of the other outfits I'm really keen on looking at building. Now obviously some people are thinking, oh god, he's gonna go full weave and make a waifu that's literally wearing a wedding dress. Technically, that is true, but I have a reasoning, an actual logical reasoning, for wanting to use this model over this one here. And I'll actually bring that model in right now so we can actually see the full physical model itself when it's not fully animated. Now, as you can tell, this is a fully unanimated model. And as you can see, I have a big, massive surface area down here I can work with. Now, if any of you watched my life-size Congo build over the past months, you'll know that I have her RC controlled. So my idea for this particular model is actually utilitarian other than just have a Rinko model in my collection. My idea is to take those 2 RC tank treads I got for Shirley, which I'll actually show you right now, which are these 2 guys right here. Take those 2 RC tank treads and place them somewhere up here in the front, and then have two caster wheels back here somewhere so she actually doesn't want to keel over backwards. And doing it that way so whenever I'm at my conventions or whatnot, or I'm just around the house and I don't want to carry her around, well, I mean, if I'm at the house I'm going to be carrying her around, but if I'm at my local conventions and whatnot, she'll be RC controlled, so I actually don't have to physically lug her around. That's my reasoning for building her wedding dress variant over the schoolgirl outfit. Other than the obvious fact that she's full commando, and I really don't know how I can actually show the whole process of building the legs without having to skirt around YouTube's bullcrap. And also, I don't want to come off more of a creep than I already am. But again, I don't have to worry about this stuff down the road. It's probably going to be at least maybe another month or two before I actually really start looking into the whole process of what version of Rinko I want to build. But there's one more thing I want to bring up before I actually end this video off. And that is the complexity of the characters. Now, here's the complexity for Rinko's face. I'm going to bring in Shirley and show you the complexity for Shirley's face. Yeah, she'll just sit there and yap. Shirley's face is a lot more intricate. And again, both of these models are Unity asset models. So Konami, when it came to building Love Plus, they made their models a lot more simple, and yet they look just as good as the models for Macross. And plus, with this game here, you can actually use the VR mode and actually fully see these things in VR. And if you got a good enough phone, the VR with these models look fantastic. So it's amazing what Konami was able to do with just relatively simplistic models compared to Macross's here. But of course, I'm fairly certain the reason why they put so much more detail into these models over Love Plus, because Macross is a highly known franchise over in Japan compared to this one right here. But it's just something interesting to bring up. There is also one more thing I actually want to bring up, but I'll have to use this phone here. So give me a second. So when it comes to the offline play, you do have the option to use the VR mode. You can take pictures, and you go into the AR mode, where you can actually physically pose the model, or physically pose the girl, which I'll show you in a second if the game doesn't take too long to load. So let's see if I'm able to work this. Here we have some fairly basic poses, not that many. Let's see, I will choose this one. I can use this to figure out if I actually want to use this pose or not, which allows me to actually physically manipulate the model to a certain extent, and then I can do this and actually rotate around, which is something that the guy that does the posing for my YouTube Macross models actually wants me to do when it comes to them, is get full rotations of the models, so when we actually go to pose them like he does here, he can actually have them as precise as physically possible. Now this one, he had to work with just a simple 2D texture, so it was a bit more simple 2D picture, which was a lot more difficult than having the full ability to properly pose the model and whatnot. So this is going to be a massive help when it comes to the posing aspect of these characters, if I decide to go for a pose that this game has, or probably go for a pose something as simplistic as this. But at least the game does allow some option to do some manipulation to the model, so I can figure out the proper pose I want down the road. But again, I'll worry about this when I actually go to start the process of building Rinko. But for right now, I need to take my 4-day break, play some Cyberdino 2077, and then get back to building Shirley.